So, dear brothers, last week we studied about a few things about our Lord's second coming. Mainly, we studied about the dates, how our Lord's second presence has happened in 1874. That is based on the prophecy that is given to us in the book of Daniel, chapter 12. You see, where it means, it tells about the three dates. That is 1260 days and 1290 days and 1335 days. So if you see there, the three dates are given, and all the three dates actually begin from the same starting point. Gopal brother, can you tell me what is the starting point of all these dates? It began from which year?
539 AD.
Very good, 539 AD. So actually, what happened in 539 AD?
Like that Roman Empire
Good.
invented the mass.
Yes.
Like
so the three horns that is mentioned in Daniel 7th chapter that fell in actually in 539, and that is the very year that the abomination of desolate that was set up. That means the conduction of the mass frequently instead of doing it yearly. So from that 539, if you calculate 1260 days, it comes to 1799. We all know very well that in 1799 the Antichrist period ended. That was during the Reformation, and from 539, if you calculate 1290 days, it comes to 1844. So 1844, what happened, brother? Can you tell me? 1844, some important movement happened. Which was that movement?
A Miller movement.
Very good, Miller movement. So what did William Miller tell? What did he claim? When will Jesus return?
He claimed that Jesus will coming in flesh soon.
Yes. Okay. So he claimed that Jesus will return 1844. Okay. Some 30 years before, actually, Jesus was supposed to return. So then what happened? That was a very great awakening call. Many of the Christians who sold everything to follow Jesus Christ only for a pretend sake, only to pretend to be Christians, they all went back into the world and to claim all their, you see, what do you say? What are things they gave off and forgave, they went back to the world to claim it everything. So once that happened, you see, there was a great filtration among the Christians, the real followers of Christ, and imitating Christians were actually bifurcated. So that was told in the parable of Matthew 25th chapter, where the bridegroom tarried. So that clearly shows that there will be a time in God's plan that there will be a great expectations of the Lord's second coming, and that would be a failure. And actually, the Lord would come some other time. So if you see the Lord, you see, he came at a very important time. It says in Matthew 25th chapter, and when was the great call given? What was the great sound came? It came in the night. What time of the night, brother? Matthew 25th chapter, it says, no? There was a
midnight, brother.
Very good, midnight. So midnight means that's the time when the day actually changes. Okay, the previous day changes to the present day. So that is the time that the 6,000 years ended and the 1,000 year began. So it exactly shows that in 1874 Christ was supposed to return. So it was not in 1844, but actually Christ came in 1874. Why the 30 years difference? If you see, the same thing happened at the Christ first advent. You see, Christ was supposed to present or be in midst of Israel as Messiah. That means the entire Jewish nation sought for the Messiah, the king, the prince, when he was born. Everybody thought that in Bethlehem, you see, the Messiah is born, but but Messiah was not born at that time. It was Jesus who was born. So when was Jesus became the Messiah? If you see, it was 30 years after at the baptism. So there was a difference of 30 years between the expectation of the Jewish people and the actual, you see, presenting of the Messiah to the Jewish people. So similarly, at the second advent, there's a 30 years difference where the whole world expected Jesus to be present as a returned Lord. But he actually appeared 30 years later. That's what is given in the Matthew 25th chapter parable. Okay. So these things are very clear, and we got some other proofs also. God willing, we'll be sharing it in some higher classes, which we'll be presenting in the future classes. But not now. Let us go on to see more clarity. Did Jesus ever tell about his second coming anywhere in the Bible? If you see, yes, Jesus has told about his second coming, that when he is going to return, when he is going to be in this earth atmosphere. About his parousia and all is given in the Bible in various places. So today we're going to see those few verses also. Okay. So before that one, you see, we need to understand some things. Actually, in a week, there are actually 7 days. Okay. And the last day of the week is always called as the last day. And that was actually the Sabbath day. See, the Jewish people, for them, the week actually began with which day? Is it Monday or which day?
Saturday, Sabbath,
Saturday was the Sabbath. Was it the first day or the last day?
last day,
Very good. So Saturday was the last day. Then which is the first day of the week?
Sunday.
Very good. That's the first day of the week. So the week for the Jewish people began on the Sunday and ended on the Saturday. So let us read a few verses for more clarity. John 7:2 and John 7:37, brother.
John 7:2.
Mhm.
Now the Jewish feast of tabernacles was at hand.
See, read, brother. Read completely again.
Now the Jewish feast of tabernacles was at hand.
Hmm.
Continue, brother.
Continue.
His brethren therefore said unto him, Depart hence, and go into Judea, that thy disciples also may see the works that thou doest.
Okay. Now, what does it say? The feast of the tabernacle was at hand. So the feast of the tabernacle was a feast for 7 days. Okay. So that is given in Leviticus 23rd chapter. When you're free, you can read it. So it was a feast for 7 days. Okay. So it began with the first day of the week and ended in the last day of the week. Now read verse 37, brother. Read verse 37.
In the last day, that great day of the feast, Jesus stood and cried, saying, If any man thirst, let him come unto me and drink.
Okay, brother. Now it says on the last day. You see, the last day. So when was the last day? If you see, that was the day of the Sabbath. So if you see in this chart, you can clearly know that there are 7 days in a week, and the last day was called as the seventh day. Okay. Now you tell me, for Jesus Christ, a day means how many years? For Jesus, a day means how many years?
1,000 years.
Very good. For Jesus, a day means 1,000 years. So, in this chart, if you see, now we can tell that in a week there are 7 days means. So, for Jesus, each day is a 1,000 years means. Then this can be compared to a 7,000 year period also, isn't it? So each day means a 1,000 year period of seven parts or 7 days of 7,000 years. Or if you divide 7,000 years by 1,000 years, you get 7, you see, days, isn't it? So, as Jesus did so many things in a week, how the Feast of Tabernacle was happening on the week, beginning with the first day of the week and ending with a Sabbath day. So similarly, Jesus tells that many things will happen in the last day. You might have read so many contexts in the Bible. You see, last day, these things will happen. Last day, this thing will happen. Last day, that thing will happen. Correct now, brother?
Yes, brother.
So which is the last day Jesus was referring? If you see, Jesus was referring to this, you see, a week. In a week, you see, when we refer to the last day, it actually refers to the last day of the week, that is the Sabbath day. That was actually a rest day for the Jewish people. So similarly, when Christ is going to return, you see, he is going to rule for 1,000 years. You see, and that 1,000 years, you see, is the rule of Christ, and that is the great Sabbath where the entire people of this world will have rest. Rest from what? Rest from sin, sickness, sorrow, everything. So that is the last day. Now, in this last day, what will happen? Let us read a few scriptures, brother. Read, in the last day, the resurrection of the church will happen. John 6:44, brother. John 6:44.
John 6:44. No man can come to me except the Father which has sent me draw him, and I will raise him up at the last day.
You see? So they will raise him on the last day. So he's speaking about actually the church, isn't it? He's speaking of the church that whoever God has given to Christ, none of them shall he lose, but each of them shall be raised in the last day. This shows about the resurrection about you see the church. Okay. Now this will happen in the last day. That means the last 1,000 years period. Similarly, the resurrection of the world also will happen in the same period. Read John 11:24, brother. John 11:24.
John 11:24. Martha said unto him, I know that he shall rise again in the resurrection at the last day.
You see? See, Jesus actually came here for the rising Lazarus from the dead. And that time, what did Martha reply? She said that actually, I know the Lord that, you see, when all people are resurrected in the last day, similarly at that time, Lazarus also will come in the, you see, general resurrection. So, when will the resurrection for the whole world happen? It will happen on the last day. Okay, brother? Now, not only the resurrection, but the judgment also for the world should happen in the last day. Read John 12:48, brother. John 12:48. Gopal, brother, can you read?
Sure, brother. He that rejecteth me and receiveth not my words hath one that judgeth him. The word that I have spoken, the same shall judge him in the last day.
See, the word shall judge him in the last day. So everybody shall be judged as per the Bible. When? In the last day. So when is the last day? We have seen that is the, you see, 1,000-year reign of Christ. So God has permitted first 6,000 years of sin, where everybody are permitted to work this sin and receive this wages, that is death. The wages of sin is death. But in the 1,000 years, you see, nobody are permitted to work the same work of sin which they did for the 6,000 years. So the last day always in the Bible refers to the 1,000-year reign of Christ. Okay. Now, why we are, you see, trying to picturize this one is that as in a week there are 7 days. So similarly, we see in God's plan, in the 7,000 years can be divided into 7 parts. That is 6,000 plus 1,000 year part. Each, you see, 1,000 years of equal spaces. Okay. Now, let us read John 2:19, brother. John 2:19, brother.
Jesus
Jesus
answered
and said unto them, destroy this temple, and in 3 days I will raise it up.
See, Jesus is here saying that destroy this temple and I shall rise it up. So we know very well that Jesus was not speaking about a literal temple, because literal temple, it took, you see, almost 46 years to build it. So suddenly the people were surprised. You see, read verse 20.
Then said the Jews, 6 years was this temple in building, and will you rear it up in 3 days?
Will you build it in 3 days? So Jesus was not speaking about the literal temple, the building. He was actually speaking about the body, his body. Read, brother. Read verse 21.
Oh, no, but he spake of the temple of his body.
He spoke of the temple of his body. So this verse clearly says that when the Christ's body, his temple, shall be raised. Now, who are the body of Christ? You tell me. Who are the temple of Christ?
Church.
Church. Very good. So who are the church means we. So we are the temple of God. We are the church of God. We are the body of Christ. So Jesus was telling to the Jews, you destroy my body. You destroy my church. No problem. But I will raise it when? In how many days?
After 3 days.
You see, he said, he did not say after 3 days. What did he say? Read verse 19, brother. Gopal, brother, read.
In 3 days.
In 3 days. Okay? So that means in the third day, what should happen? There should be a resurrection of the church. Just now we read now, when will the resurrection of the church happen? It will happen in the last day. Correct now? So which is the last day? That is the 7,000-year period. Correct now? Now let us cross-check it. How this has got correlation with the second coming of Jesus. Okay, brother? Now see the chart here. See, for Jesus, each day is 1,000 years. So 6,000 years means how many days?
6 days.
Very good, brother. 6,000 years means 6 days. Very good. Now, when did Jesus come? Jesus came at 4,128 years since the creation of Adam. Correct now?
Yes, Baba.
That means he would have come at this point. See, from the beginning of creation of Adam, 1,000 years, 2,000 years, 3,000 years, 4,000 years, 4,128 years means this in the 5,000 year, from the creation of Adam, Jesus would have, came at the first advent. And that period was the first day for Jesus. After his first advent. After his first advent, that was the first day for Jesus. Now, what did Jesus say to the Jewish people? Destroy my temple. In 3 days, I will build it up. So, from the first advent of Jesus, 3 days means 3,000 years we need to calculate. See, 5th day is the first 1,000 years, 6th day is the second 1,000 years, and the 3rd day is which one? The 7th 1,000 years. It is in the 7th 1,000 year or at the second advent of Jesus when the 1,000 years will begin. That is the time the church, the dead church, will be raised again back to life. So Jesus was giving a prophecy not only about the resurrection of the church, but also he gave a time prophecy when the resurrection of his body also will happen. Got it, brother Gopal, brother? Is it clear?
Yeah, yes, brother, yes.
Okay, see, there are a few more verses. We'll see it again. It will be more clear to you. Okay?
Okay, brother.
So, let us read one more verse. Luke 13:32. Luke 13:32.
And he said unto them, Go ye and tell that fox, Behold, I cast out devils, and I do curses to do, and tomorrow and the 3rd day I shall be perfected.
See, same words. Go and tell this to that fox, Herod. Okay? that today and tomorrow, what I will do? What you will do today and tomorrow?
I cast out devils.
I cast out devils. In the third day, I will be
Perfected.
perfected. So he said, not they will be perfected. He said, I will be perfected. That means Jesus is actually speaking the same work what he is going to do in the church, in his body, by calling the disciples to the truth, by opening their eyes and ears of understanding. He is casting out the devil, the evil spirit within us, and anointing the church with the Holy Spirit. This work is going on from the first advent of Christ to the second advent of Christ for a period of 2000 years. That is 2 days. And Jesus said, I will do this work for 2 days. In the third day, I will be perfected. See, same thing. Since the first advent of Christ, you see, the first 1000 years, second 1000 years, and the third 1000 years is the seventh day when he shall be perfected. So again, it is an indirect time prophecy referring that when Jesus will return, and you see, he shall bless the church. There's one more prophecy. Let us read in Hosea 6th chapter, verses 1 to 3 with us. Hosea 6th chapter, verses 1 to 3.
Come and let us return unto the Lord, for he hath torn, and he will heal us. He hath smitten, and he will bind us up. After 2 days will he revive us. In the third day he will raise us up, and we shall live in his sight.
His sight.
Then,
Yes, read it in the other version. It says, we shall live in his presence. This prophecy of Hosea is actually speaking about the nation of Israel. He says, God has torn us. He has smitten us. He has wounded us. But for how many days? For 2 days. But in the third day, what will happen, it seems? Their wounds shall be bound. They shall be, you see, gathered. They shall be established. And they shall live in the sight of God. So this is actually speaking about the nation of Israel. Once they killed Jesus and crucified on the cross, the nation of Israel was destroyed. So there was no nation of Israel in the world map for how many years? For a period of 2000 years. We have studied now the class on Israel, brother. We have finished that one, no? Class of Israel. Have we taken the class of Israel? Ashish, brother, have you finished it?
We have not taken, brother.
We haven't taken.
Yeah.
Okay. I have not finished it. Sure?
Yeah.
Okay, then next week we'll see that one. Okay, not a problem. We'll see. So what happened? The 2000 years since the first advent of Christ, the 2 days, Israel was no more in world map. But since the second advent of Christ, since 1874, on the world map, the nation of Israel was found, and Israel began to be gathered. And May 14, 1948, Israel got their independence. So this is again one Bible prophecy where Jesus is telling that how the nation of Israel will be gathered on the third day since his first advent of, you see, on the earth. Okay, so let us read one more prophecy with that. That is given in Luke 12th chapter 38. Luke 12th chapter verse 35. Read from verse 35 to verse 38, brother.
Okay. Let your lamps be girded about, and your lights burning, and you yourselves like unto men that wait for their Lord when he will return from the wedding, that when he cometh and knock, they may open unto him immediately. Blessed are the servants.
See, it says, what does it say? And you yourself, like unto men that wait for the Lord. You be prepared as if you're waiting for the Lord. Be a servant who is waiting for the Lord. That's what Jesus guides us and instructs the church to be waiting for the Lord's second coming. Now, next, what happens? When the Lord
Blessed,
comes, what happens? Verse 37.
blessed are the servants whom the Lord, when he cometh, shall find watching. Verily I say unto you, that he shall guard himself and make them sit down to meat, and will comfort and serve them.
See, when Christ returns, if he finds anybody who was watching, what will the Lord do? It seems, the Lord would actually gird himself and make the servant to sit for meat and serve him, it seems. This is what actually Jesus is doing now. Keep your hand here only. Read Revelation 3:21. Revelation 3:20. Sorry, Revelation 3:20. Gopal brother, can you read Revelation 3:20?
Sure, brother. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come in to him and will sup with him and he with me.
Same words. Yeah. What did Jesus say? Behold, I stand at. Where is Jesus standing?
At the door.
At the door. That means what? Not far away. He is standing at the heart's door and knocking. The bridegroom returned. You see, in Revelation 6th chapter, sorry, 6th church and all, if you see, he says Jesus is coming very soon, very soon, very soon. Correct now? But when he's speaking about the 7th church, you see, Jesus said that he is at the door. Read Revelation 3, 11. 3:11, brother, about the 6th church.
Behold, I come quickly. Hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown.
See, I come quickly, he said. But did he say the same words for the 7th church? No, he said, behold, I stand at the door and knock. If anybody opens the door, I will come and sup with him. That is what Jesus is doing. You see, when will Jesus come? What is his time? Now, what is the return of the master's time? Now, continue to read Luke 12 chapter. Where you stopped, read Luke 12 chapter.
Verse 37. Blessed are the servants whom the Lord, when he cometh, shall find watching. Verily I say unto you, that he shall guard himself and make them to sit down to meat, and will comfort and serve them. And if he shall come in the second watch, or come in the third watch.
Wait. Note it down. Underline. He says, when the master will return, he might come in the second watch, or he might come in the third watch. Continue with that.
And find them so, blessed are the servants.
Blessed are the servants. Now, what is the time that the master will return? What is the watch? What is the time that he gave? Which watch?
Second or third watch.
Second or third watch. Now, which is this watch? Your brother, we got only one watch in our hand. Which is Jesus speaking of watch? Which was in during those days? Now we should see what is the meaning of watch in the Bible. For the Bible, what is the dictionary? Which is the dictionary, brother?
Bible itself.
Very good. How do we study the Bible? Here a little?
Very little.
Very good. Read Psalms 90, verse 14. Psalms 90, verse 4. Chapter 90, verse 4.
For 1,000 years in thy sight are but as yesterday, when it is past, and as a watch in the night.
1,000 years is in the sight of the Lord as a watch of a night. What did Jesus say? He might return when? Second or which watch?
Third watch.
Third watch. The same thing, dear brethren. See, you can see clearly in this chart. First 1,000 years from the first advent of Christ, and the second 1,000 years from the first advent of Christ. He might come in the second or third. That means as soon as the second watch was over, there was a midnight. The third watch was a new day, the new 1,000 years. That is the time that Jesus returned. You see? Now, why did not Jesus speak exactly the date? Because Jesus was not proved his faithfulness to God on the cross. So until such time, he knew some things vaguely, but not exactly clearly. That's what Jesus said in Mark 13 chapter. That day and that hour, only the Father in heaven knows. So therefore, he gave us a vague picture. You see, you say, what do you say? Approximate, you see, understanding that he will return at this period. We should be very alert. Now let us read one more verse. Mark 13 chapter, brother. Mark 13 chapter, verse 34 and 35, brother. You got it, brother? Go on, brother. Ashish, brother, you got it? Mark 13 chapter, 34 and 35.
Yes, brother. For the
Read
Son of
34.
Man, for the Son of Man is as a man talking a far journey, who left his house and gave authority to his servant and to every man his work, and commanded the porter to watch.
Wait. Now, this is speaking about Jesus Christ going to heaven to receive a kingdom for himself and return at the second advent. So he went away at the first advent. Correct? No? Now, when
Yes.
he's going to return? What is the time he's going to return? Read next verse 35. It says,
Watch ye therefore, for ye know not when the master of the house cometh.
now this one read very carefully. When will the master come?
At even,
At even. That means evening. He might come in the evening. Then next.
or at midnight,
Midnight. Then,
or at the crowing,
cock crowing. Then,
or in the morning.
or in the morning. 4 times are given. He might come in the evening, midnight, cock crowing, or morning. Now you tell me, when does the day changes? Evening or cock crowing?
Cock
When
crowing.
does the day change? Is it in the evening? Is it in the midnight? Or is it when the cock crows? I'll repeat the question again. When does the day change? Listen carefully. When does the day change actually? Is it in the evening? Is it in the midnight? Or is it when the cock crows early in the morning?
Midnight.
Huh?
Midnight.
Midnight. Correct. Gopal brother, you got it now? Midnight. When do we celebrate the new year?
At 12 midnight.
Why midnight?
Because
Just because the cock is crowing in the morning, does it mean that it will morning will happen only in the that means day will begin only at 6 p.m. 6 a.m. The cock is sleeping. What to do? So that is his fault. But when does the day change? Actually, when does the day begin? In midnight. That is the time that Jesus returned. Matthew 25th parable. You see? What happened? When the 10 virgins were sleeping, when was the loud cry heard?
At midnight.
Very good. So why midnight? That is the time when the 6,000 years ended. Got it, brother? 6,000 years ended, 1,000 years began. Got it, brother?
Yes, brother.
Now read Revelation 22:12.
And behold, I come quickly, and my
Okay,
reward
thank you. Behold, I come quickly. Now, why did Jesus tell I'll come quickly? Coming after 2,000 years very quickly, Tell me. Coming after 2,000 years, is it quickly?
No.
Now I'll present it another angle. You think. See, you have some family members in your house. Imagine if you're going for any tour or visiting any outside, your parents or your family members might ask, when you're going to return, what will you tell them? You will tell them, can you tell them the exact date and hour exactly when you will go to return?
No.
No. What we will tell? We will tell in 2-3 days I will come back, or else I'll come very fast, very quickly I'll come back, very soon I'll come back. This is what Jesus said. You see, for us, one day is 1,000 years. Correct? Huh? Jesus is one day, for us is 1,000 years. But ours, 1,000 years, for Jesus is how many days?
One day.
One day. That's what Jesus is trying to say to the church. I will come very soon in 2 or 3 days. Wait, don't worry, wait. If I go, I will come very soon. I will go and prepare a place and come and take you in 2-3 days. In 2-3 days, I will cast the devil. I will build my church. I will raise my church. I will regather Israel. I will come in the evening watch or in the night watch. You keep on watching. This is the way the Bible has to be understood. Now, you think, is it very clear or not? Huh? Very clear. That's what Jesus said. Huh? Be as a servant who watch for the master's return. Now, did Jesus come very soon? No. The church is expecting the Jesus second advent very lately, not understanding the Bible at all. A day for the Lord, you see, is 1,000 years. 1,000 years is as a day. That means the 2,000 years that is passed away, it is nothing but 2 days. That's what Jesus said. I will come within 2 days. Don't worry. Okay? Now, is it clear, brother? Gopal brother, Ashish brother, is it clear?
Yes, brother.
Now there are other Greek words which we need to understand in the Bible. Till now, we studied about the parousia, but there is another Greek word, other 2 Greek words. One is epiphania, and one is apocalypse. Now, what is this epiphania? Epiphania actually means the bright shining. See, we just now read the verse. The master might return in midnight, or when the cock crows, or when? Morning. Why the 3 periods are given? See, midnight is a period when the Lord actually returned. Okay? So he is returned in the midnight itself. But you see, when will the people come to know? When will the sun actually, the day begins. But does it mean that as soon as the midnight happens, the sun is on the, you see, sky? Can we see in the sky the sun at midnight? Can we see, brother?
No.
No. When will the sun be visible? That is, when the sun is visible, immediately the cock will crow. You know, what does it mean? That is the first stage of Lord's second advent. You see, when the Lord returned invisibly as a sun, when he began to rise, immediately there was a cock crowing. Behold the Son of Man, parousia. Now, who comes to know about the parousia? Only the people who hear the cocks crowing early in the morning, who are awake. Only those people can recognize the parousia. Now, there's the other 2 time periods given in that verse. It says, other is when? Morning. Morning is what? What time? You can say 9 o'clock that time. And by afternoon, everybody will come to know. So, this second period is called as epiphania. The word actually epiphania means the bright shining. Actually, if you see, the period what we are living now is epiphania. We are already past the parousia period, and we are living in a very bright and very clear shining period where we can clearly say that we are living in the day of the Lord. Nobody can disclaim it. Nobody can reject it at all, because there's very clear signs. The regathering of Israel, knowledge has increased. Man is running to and fro. Very clear, bright, shining. So much of trouble is happening in this world. A great time of trouble. What we spoke in the Bible, all these things are happening in the epiphania. This is a very bright, clear sign that we are living in the day of epiphania. Okay. Now, for that verse, we will read one verse. 2 Thessalonians 2:8. 2 Thessalonians 2:8, brother. 2 Thessalonians 2:8, brother. Anybody can read.
And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming.
He shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. That word brightness is epiphania. And that word coming is parousia. This verse says that the great Antichrist system shall be destroyed at the epiphania of his parousia. That means the bright shining of his parousia, in that period itself, the Antichrist system will be destroyed. So we are approaching that period. Okay. So we are approaching that period where we are already in epiphania, but we are approaching the period of the destruction of the Antichrist. The Antichrist again will shortly, you see, come to power and rise to power. That will be only for a few moments, but suddenly what will happen? As per this verse, it is based upon the bright shining of the truth, that the system will be totally collapsed. Now, next, what will happen? After the collapse of the Antichrist, the whole people will come to know that Jesus is the one who is ruling invisibly. And that period is called as apocalypse in the Bible. The word apocalypse means something which was hidden is now brought to light completely. Okay? So something which was hidden now, it is brought to light more clearly. Okay? And that is given to us in Luke 17 chapter. Luke 17 chapter, verses 26. Read from verse 26 to 30. We'll see. This is actually speaking about first how the parousia will happen. Next, how, you see, after the epiphania, the last apocalypse will happen. The spirit is given there. Now read, brother. Read verse 26.
And as it was, and as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be also in the days of the Son of Man.
As it was in the days of Noah. Noah was present. Similarly, in the days of Son of Man shall be present. So this is the parousia, presence. Noah's presence. In his presence, the flood came. Jesus' presence. In his presence, the second world will be destroyed. In his presence, the first world was destroyed. In his presence, the second world will be destroyed. In Noah's presence, the first heaven and the first earth was destroyed. It was totally corrupt with the fallen angels and the giants of this world. Similarly, you see, the second world, the end of the second world, there is a heaven and the earth. Who is ruling in the heaven invisibly? Who is the prince of the power of the air?
Satan, devil.
Satan and the fallen angel. Jesus is come now to destroy them. How? By fire. Not literal fire. There it was a little water, but here it is a not literal fire. It is a symbolic fire of destruction. You see, destruction, destroying the plans, purposes, evil aims, ambitions, all corruption. You see, all evil things of this world, it can be only burnt in fire, because something that is put to fire can never be restored back at all. It is totally vacuumized. So that's what Jesus says, that this is going to be destroyed. So what is going to be destroyed? In Noah's days, who was there? The giants were there. Correct? Now, how did the giants come into formation? Who both joined together to form a giant? Tell me.
Angels.
Correct. Angels and
women.
Very good, brother. Angels and women. Was it a legal marriage? Can an angel marry a woman?
No.
No, it is illegal. That means a fallen angel marrying a woman, mixing with human breed, is called as hybrid. We tell no hybrid. So similarly, that hybrid generation was totally destroyed. Now, similarly, today also, we have hybrid giants. Who are these giants? Human mind mixing with angelic mind. Now, we tell me, today the fallen angels are working or not?
Yes, brother.
They are working. They are mixing with human mind, right? Now, human thoughts.
Yes.
So suddenly, what has come up in this world? Big giants. Brother, we can't see any giant. We are seeing computer giant. We are seeing business giant. We are seeing steel magnets, iron giant, cement giant, whichever field you see, big business establishment. These are the huge giants in this world who are dominating the poor of this world and suppressing them. Isn't it? Then what happened? The big giants separate the common people. They could not live. Because of the giants, because of the hybrid, what actually happened on this earth in the first advent, in the first world? More evil. You see in the Bible, it says the entire earth was corrupt. Read Genesis 6, 5 and 6. Ashish brother, can you read Genesis 6 chapter 5 and 6 brother?
And
6 chapter 5 and 6 brother.
And God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. And he did-
Continually, his thoughts were evil. Today, what do we see in the world? The thoughts of humankind is what? Evil. Any social media you open, only evil, bad things only. None of the good things are propagated properly. Those things are considered illegal. You need to take sanctions, permissions, all these things to express your rights. Those things are not permitted. But to do evil, to express evil, to show evil, you can do all those things. Liberty is there. Why? Giants are the one who are ruling this world. Those days, the giants were ruling. Today also, what is there? The big political giants. Evil mind, corrupt mind, mixed with fallen angels. Fallen angels are using them, you see, to corrupt this world. Hence, what we are seeing? Huh? Their heart, you see, was only, every thoughts of their heart was evil continually. Today, what do we see in the news? Huh? You don't marry, but yet you live with a girl, and that's called live-in partnerships. So you can have, you can whatever do whatever you want. Then later, if you don't want to marry, you can chop it out and keep it in the fridge. You see, and later of dispose it of other. That's all considered common today. Each and every news you see, rape, murder, theft, dacoity. You see, suicide bombing, evil things. What sort of evil things? These things are happening suddenly because this is a mixture of the hybrid. This is what God doesn't like. Now read next verse 6, brother. Genesis 6:6.
And it repented the Lord that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart.
Verse 11.
The earth also was corrupt before God, and the earth was filled with violence.
Verse 13.
And God said unto Noah, the end of all flesh is come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them, and behold, I'll destroy them with the earth.
Okay. I think Ashish, brother, your mic is disturbing. A lot of disturbance from your mic. Okay. It says, and God said unto Noah, the end of all flesh is come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them. And behold, I will destroy them. You see, with the earth. So the earth was completely filled with violence. That's what today is happening. So, as God destroyed the world during the days of Noah, what is God going to do? Destroy the second world. Okay. Now, God selected whom? Noah. Did God select anybody else apart from Noah, brother? Who was saved in the flood?
Noah and his family.
Very good. Total how many members?
8 members.
8 members. So, except Noah, how many members were there?
7.
7. What does it mean 7 in the Bible?
It's a complete number.
Very good. Complete number. So, Jesus is always already completed. The 7 is the complete body members of Jesus who are going to be saved in this end of the second world. Okay? So that's why it says in Luke 17 chapter, as it was in the days of Noah, similarly it will be in the days of the Huh? Son of man. The next brother, continue. Read verse Luke 17. You see? 17:27.
They did eat, they drank, they married wives, they were given in marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and the flood came and destroyed them all.
See, they were living a common life, no fear at all. So today also happening that only. Corona came, everybody feared. But now everybody are relaxed. Common. Corona came, it will go up, nothing will happen. Tomorrow something will come is, ayo, that is all come, let us get married. Come, let us build building. Let us buy property. That's what the people will think, no? Same thing happened in the days of Noah. Today also the world is enjoying literally. They're planning a huge, everywhere they're planning a huge, you see, New Year blash this year. Why? 2-3 years, no New Year. They want to kick it off. Isn't it? That's what the Bible says. Now, see, this is speaking of the parousia. Now, Epiphania, what will happen? Verse 28, it gives example of Lot. Continue with that.
Likewise also, as it was in the days of Lot, they did eat, they drank, they bought, they sold, they planted, they builded. 29 also, brother? But
29.
but the same day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all.
Hmm.
In that day, which shall be upon the house
No. Wait. Verse 29 you read. After that,
30,
which verse? 30.
Even thus shall it be in the day when the Son of Man is revealed.
Revealed. That word revealed is apocalypse. So this is speaking of the period of apocalypse. How he says how it happened in the days of Lord. Similarly, it will happen in the days of Son of Man when he will be revealed for the whole world. It seems. See, in Lord's case, what happened actually? If you see, Lot was in Sodom and Gomorrah. God called him several times. He did not come at all. Ultimately, he just escaped by fire. Immediately, what happened? Sodom and Gomorrah was totally destroyed. Correct, no? So similarly, it says Sodom and Gomorrah in the Bible means the great Babylon. We're going to see which is great Babylon in the coming classes. It is speaking about the false churches of this world. So many God's children are in the false churches of this world, where they conduct the Lord's Supper every week, every month, whenever they want, and they believe in the immortal soul. Hell is a place of torment. They believe in the Trinity. They believe that Antichrist is a person who's yet going to come. All these vague and false doctrines. This is called as Babylon in the Bible. This is called the false churches. Now, Lot is a good person who is still staying there. Why? It doesn't want to come out because he is seeking shelter. Because Sodom and Gomorrah was the best place, a very wealthy place. But until God pulled him, it did not come at all. Once he came out, what happened immediately? God destroyed that Sodom and Gomorrah. Similarly, God is waiting for God's children to come out of Babylon. Once the true Christians come out of the false churches, immediately what will happen? The entire church system, the false church system shall be destroyed. And it is in the destruction, the world will realize that Christ is the one who is ruling invisibly. Read Revelation 18:4, brother. Revelation 18:4. Revelation 18:4, brother.
And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues.
Come out of her, that you may not receive her plagues, same as Lot. So as Lot was rescued, immediately as he is rescued, it was totally destroyed, and everybody come to know that this is the real truth. Similarly, it will happen in the apocalypse period when the whole people will realize, but by that time, the church will be already completed. There won't be any heavenly salvation. The entire world system, the current system shall be destroyed. Okay. So this is about the Epiphania and apocalypse. Okay. So we'll stop it here. Next week, we're going to see about the rapture. Okay. So